Hey guys, how are y'all doing? It is me, Wanda. Um, actually just got in. I'm thinking probably like around 6 or a little bit after 6. Got a phone call to go to the gym because a loved one basically got sick at the gym. They started having seizures at the gym. They were working out, they were done, they were just sitting there. But basically, y'all, heat exhaustion. How many times I gotta tell y'all? I saw him at work. That was my daddy. Saw him at work at around noon, 1 o'clock. He told me he had been now. This is hours later, according to my mama. When I talked to her a while ago, they're out of town. They're out of town in Kentucky, but he's here with us. Um, she said she had seen him up since 5 o'clock this morning outside on the yard, possibly throwing seeds. I don't know, just dealing with the grass. Probably weed eating. But he had been up since 5 this morning. Then he went and did my sister's yard, his daughter. He mowed it, and then he went back a few hours later in the heat, really in the heat of the day. Probably like around. I'm thinking it had to been around 10, 11 o'clock because he said when he saw me in Walmart, he had just finished. He didn't, yeah, so he went back to finish weed eating. And so, um, he is retired. He likes to stay busy. But y'all, we went to we made it to the emergency room. Well, basically, before, why I wasn't able to talk to him since he was in the back of the ambulance, but they said he was talking and stuff like that. So we got the car situation. We got the car taken home, and I let the dog out, fed him, and I went out to the emergency room. Yes, I did. I dropped grandmama her round zucchini off, and then my auntie her tomatoes off. I did that. Um, and then I went and saw him. We had found other family members out there as well visiting. He was talking, he was up and stuff like that. But y'all, this he ain't no joke. I'm so serious. That could have went the other way because he was talking about before that even happened in the gym. He was talking about going to do my aunt's yard to mow it and possibly maybe even we eat it because it was like I said, this was a little bit after 6. So it really had to have been like right at 6 when it happened because I was out in the backyard myself pruning my tomatoes and other things when I got the phone call, which y'all, I'm guilty. Even though my phone was in the house right here, I was outside in the garden. My husband was in the house. My mom did try to reach me. That's why I say y'all need to have your phone out in the garden with you, fully charged, and take your charger with you if you can. Take an extension cord with you. That way you can kind of plug your phone up and let it charge while you doing whatever you gotta do. But this could have easily went the other way. So I just talked to my mom. I just left her house putting the dog up and watering the garden. I did do that. So he's at home now. The keys have been taken from him, so he can't go nowhere. He housebound tonight, but it ain't. It's not. It's not a. It's not funny because like I said, it could have went the other way. Especially had he gone over to weed eat his sister in law's, my aunt's yard. It could have literally went the other way. He was seriously dehydrated, y'all. Seriously dehydrated. And he said he felt fine, really. But he said he was sitting there in the gym, and that's when it just happened. And he was like, he was actually finna get ready and get up and leave. But I'm glad he didn't because that meant he would have been driving when that possibly could have occurred. Oh, thank you. Yep. Yeah, so y'all, he ain't no joke. Ooh, and I was going over there to do the yard, But I'll do it tomorrow after work. I'm gonna go on over there tomorrow and do it. That way when they come back Friday, it's done. That part of the garden is tackled, and I may not. I mean, it ain't gonna take long to weed, de-weed. I say de-weed. Like I say, y'all say weed. But yeah. I just y'all out there in this heat and ain't just gardeners. Everybody working outside, being outside for whatever reason. Just take the necessary precautions. That's all I got to say. Love y'all, and I will be back with y'all. Bye bye.